the impact on the stock market and what you should be doing with your portfolio. Here now, Money Map Press, their chief strategist, Shah Galani, along with Gibbs Wealth Management President Aaron Gibbs. First, let's start with today's winners. We've got cruise lines, we've got airlines, hotels, amusement parks. By the way, some not so obvious winners. I'm not sure everyone thought about financials and crude oil through the roof. Shah, what names now should viewers at least be considering chasing here?
I think you've known for some time, Charles, at least a couple of months that we've been in the financials. I still think they're going to continue to perform. They come off the bottom, especially Wells Fargo. You know I like that. I'm in that stock. I like J.P. Morgan here and also Morgan Stanley. I think they're going to continue to do well. I think they're going to pick up a little bit of momentum if we come out of the second part of this recession, and if we continue to see positive news on vaccine. But there's plenty of cyclicals out there I like also. There's industrials and material stocks out there. I think all of those are going to start to come around. I'd be a little bit apprehensive about jumping full force into the travel and leisure stocks just yet. I mean, they've had a heck of a run today, but I think it'd be kind of pressing your luck to jump on them today.
Aaron?
Yeah, I think I agree. The financials are definitely one of the looks like to be the leaders in the next 2 quarters. Even if you just look at earnings expectations, their earnings expectations for the first quarter of 2021 have doubled. So we're really looking at a really more robust economy, a recovery coming faster and earlier than previously forecasted. So I think that's one safe area. Again, and also I agree, I wouldn't be jumping on Carnival or any of the airlines just yet. We've got a lot of unknowns. I know this is great news it could have been it's the best news that we could have hoped for, especially with a 90% efficacy rate. But I would not just jump into that just yet. There's still a lot of unknowns out there.
Okay. If you weren't in it on Friday, you might have missed it. That's the storyline right now. Okay, vaccine stocks. We just heard Dr. Siegel saying that there's some other names right behind this, Shah. And I think some of these other names, by the way, would actually have better reactions. Remember, Pfizer's a big company. They're going to be under pressure not to make a lot of money on this, but maybe a Moderna would try to make a lot of money on it. This is a pure play. Any notion of buying some pure plays vaccine stocks right now?
We haven't been in that space, Charles, simply because to me, it's I call the vaccine lottery, and there are going to be winners and there are going to be lots of losers. And if you spread your bets up enough across the whole field, it's expending a lot of capital trying to figure out who's going to be the winner here. I would rather jump on, for example, the likes of a Pfizer now that they've come out with this announcement, or if and when Moderna comes out with something, then jump on them. Then I think these stocks will continue to have some momentum when they declare a vaccine, especially with something with 90% efficacy. So I'd rather wait and get on board afterwards, because they're going to have a good long, probably several quarters, if not a year or two run.
All right, let's go to the other side of the ledger, right? Because a whole lot of stocks became household names this year. Aaron, is the run over, right? I mean, are you buying the Zooms on weakness? Are you buying the Pelotons on weakness? Or you're just saying, stay away?
All right, well, full disclosure, my boyfriend just gave me a Peloton yesterday. So, but I still like the company.
Okay.
So there is no bias there. But honestly, I think what you really have to do is start thinking about what did these companies look like pre-pandemic? And when we get back to some type of normalcy, let's say in 3 quarters, are they still going to be strong companies? And so Peloton really had a strong and unique type of business model that had very good growth already before the pandemic. I think the moving to the suburbs isn't going to be switched either, so I do like that. I'd stay away from Zoom and Roku. I think those valuations are just so nosebleed. It won't take much, and the expectations are very high. But I still like Netflix. It's a nice, stable company. So I think we got to go back to basics, look at how these companies were managed pre-pandemic, and do we think they're going to be able to continue? So I'd say Netflix and Peloton, yes. Zoom and Roku, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, Netflix was a grand slam for years before this happened. I agree with you on Netflix. Hey, before the Pfizer news materialized this morning, the market was still looking up much higher, in part because it felt like the assumption was you'd have a President-elect Biden, but the GOP would hold the Senate. Sean, if that's how it shakes out, where do you see the outperformance coming?
I think outperformance is going to come in the industrials, materials, and financials. I think because we're going to see, I think, some tremendously expansionary policies coming out of the new Congress. whatever shape in the final analysis it takes, and certainly out of a Biden administration. So I think that those bodes well. The policies that I expect, the prescriptions I expect, bode well for financials, materials, and of course industrials. Some of the other stocks I think are going to be a little back and forth. It's really about earnings. Who's got the earnings leverage? And I think those are the companies you want to go with. And then the sound, solid names that have produced regular earnings are going to, I think, go through the roof next year.
All right, Shaw, Aaron, have fun with your Peloton, Aaron. I got to know Nautilus.